It is that time of year again where it's time to start seed preparation for the garden for spring and summer. I grow a lot of our food for the year and preserve it, so this is very important for us. Let me show you my step-by-step guide to seed starting. I have been gardening for several years now, and I feel like I have a very good routine down, and let me share that with you, along with the varieties of tomatoes and peppers that I'm doing this year. So I don't know about y'all, but I am just super excited that spring is essentially around the corner. Here we are almost mid-February, and I get to start playing in the dirt again. Yes, that's what I said. I get to start playing in the dirt again. So I am just getting my lights and heat pads and everything like that situated. I'm going to be checking to make sure that the bulbs are working. I'm going to set up the timers, all of that kind of stuff, just in preparation before I start putting things onto my racks. And these two black racks, one is actually an LED and the other is, the normal fluorescent lighting. These are both from Gardener Supply. I can put a link below if you're interested. I do love these racks, but you'll notice that on each level there's two small lights, narrow lights, and nothing in the middle. So what I ended up having to do since buying these and noticing that when you put your seedlings really close to the light like you should so that they don't stretch, there is a large gap of light in the middle. So what I have had to do is buy a bunch of shop lights that I string across the middle of these. It is tedious, but it works. And you may notice that I'm wearing my abdominal binder. I am still only maybe 4 months, postpartum from my 5th child. And this is supposed to be helping my diastasis recti. I've used it the last couple children with really good results, and hopefully that this will do the same thing again for me. So we did have one light bulb out up at the top, and my husband is kind enough to change it out for me. I just love that I have a handy husband because I don't have to worry about it myself. But so like I was saying, the shop lights, you can kind of see them over there on the table, and here I am with one of them. I have a couple different kinds, and if you're curious as to what kind of lights you can do for a DIY setup, there is a blog post link in the description where I go over this, the lumens versus the kelvins, and basically what kind of light that you're wanting. It's very, very helpful. It's taken me a long time to learn that myself. So again, down in the description, it'll be on my blog, pioneerhealthhomestead.com. So this is definitely my least favorite part of getting things ready for my spring and summer garden. It's very tedious and not something I enjoy, but I am grateful that I do have the space and the opportunity to start my seeds indoors. And for those who may be having this being their first time doing a garden, you may be wondering why I'm going through all this work to start my seeds indoors. Well, A, it saves a lot of money, and B, it's super fun because you get to choose all these really different varieties of seeds. Your local nursery is not going to have nearly the plethora of seeds available for you. It's just mind-boggling when you go start researching seeds online. And I'll put my favorite seed companies in the description as well. They're also in that blog post, but basically Baker Creek and My Gardener for sure, Botanical Interest, things like that, Seed Savers, they've all been really good companies to me. And then here is my little 3-month-old. He's been behaving nicely on the ground every so often, allowing me to not have to baby wear him, and lets me get some tasks done here and there. But it's nice to take a break and give him some snuggles.
Well, I'm going to do one for you. Gotta teach the man to fish.
So you'll notice I'm emptying potting mix into a tote here on my table. I don't like to use seed starting mix. I feel like that's just, it doesn't have enough nutrients in it and I'm having to fertilize really early on. Potting mix works just fine. Preferably you'd find one that's organic and doesn't have large sticks in it like this one does. So I definitely don't recommend this one. It was my first time using it. I do usually use like Espoma organic potting mix and I haven't had any issues, but I wanted to try something new for budget friendly, and yeah, so not too happy with this one, but it'll work for now. I do have my Espoma waiting for me over in the corner after these 2 bags are done. But basically you're wanting to wet your soil prior to putting it in. It just makes it so much easier, and you want it at a brownie consistency. And here is after I've put probably a couple liters of water into it. And you can see there's a little water that comes out of it, and now the soil holds its shape, and that's really what you're looking for. So I have used many different types of seed starting trays and different methods. This is all from bootstrapfarmer.com. I love this setup. You don't even need these little black inserts to hold the little containers, my little colorful ones off over there, because they'll stay in the trays just fine. These are normal 10 by 20, or no, excuse me, these are the normal 10-20 trays, and they're just super sturdy. I believe that Epic Gardener has some just like this, but I've gone with the Bootstrap Farmer ones. And so basically I'm just going to be filling my little containers with the wettened soil and go all the way through. You don't really want to pack it in too hard. You want it to still have, you know, a little bit of aeration. So you just kind of, you know, smash down a little bit, and that's that. Really, everything should be cleaned and washed beforehand, or at least before you put it away. But, you know, I had a baby in the fall, and I still have a baby and 4 other children, so this is where I'm at right now. I took these apart, and I had a spider jump out at me, and I screamed for my husband in the middle of the night while the kids were sleeping. But, you know, so I was still able to get that little hand back over there and muster up enough courage to suck up the spider. And yes, I am a gardener. I love being a gardener. I was a tomboy, but I am deathly afraid of spiders. But I'm trying to adult these days and let my husband sleep, and trying to show my children that you don't have to be scared of everything all the time. So like I was saying, I really like these little containers because they are a bit bigger than the other things that I had previously been using, like from Gardener Supply. I don't have to up pot them as often, and as a busy mom, that is something that is super important to me. So using the bigger pots right now works fantastic. So you saw me just take a pencil and kind of make like little holes in the middle, which really does work better for larger seeds. So you'll kind of notice as I am seeding my plants that I'm not really going for the hole. But right here I'm just doing my labels, and then after each section, so like I started with peppers and I seed them, I will put that stack away, then I'll do another batch of labels, which I believe is tomatoes, and just kind of go from there back and forth. And then that way I'm not walking away because a kid, you know, something happened and I lose my spot. Some of the varieties, these are the peppers. I did way too many last year, and as I'm seeding over there with what I thought would not be very many, turns out to be probably just as much. We'll see what actually germinates and how it goes, but here's what I'm doing this year. I have the shishito peppers. Most of these are from Baker Creek, rareseed.com. These are an old Japanese variety. They're 3-inch long, slightly wrinkled fruit. I'm told that if you blister these, like in cast iron and butter, that they're supposed to be really good, make a good like garlic aioli with them. So we're gonna try that this year. jalapenos. This is basically a jalapeno with not a spice. Try those. Poblanos, these are just fun to barbecue. Love growing those. Tabasco, I grew a nice big plant this year, but with being pregnant and due when these came to hot enough to being red and where I would want them, the baby. So kind of put them in the freezer for now. So I'm gonna try this again and see maybe what if I can make Tabasco sauce with them. Grande jalapenos, because I mean, who doesn't love, you know, bacon wrapped jalapenos? That's basically what these are for. I have so many pickled and candied jalapenos still from last year. I'm only doing one plant. Sugar Rush Peach. These are supposed to be really good for like a salsa. Gonna try that. My husband's obsessed with salsa. Cayenne. So I use these in like my elderberry syrups. I grow them, dehydrate them, store them myself. I haven't bought them in years. So I'm not running low, but I want to make sure that I keep replenishing because I have not replenished in a couple of years, maybe 1 year. So I have this to grow next year to replenish some more. I'm not even gonna attempt, well, the Quinhillo Yellow. These are a tiny yellow Brazilian pepper, tangy and sweet with just a hint of heat. So we'll see how these turn out. They're cute little things. King of the North. These are basically like a bell pepper. They're just King of the North. I'm growing a lot. I love bell peppers. We eat bell peppers on absolutely everything. And last year, I guess there was that pepper debacle. I didn't really get any. They ended up being other peppers. So I'm growing a lot. I have these, the King of the Norths, and then I'm gonna do, these are 3 packets of the same thing, basically California Wonders. And then a yellow monster. This will be a first for me this year doing this. Jessica at 3 Rivers Homestead said that this was like prolific for her last year in Northwest Ohio. Very different climate, obviously, so we'll see. But I'm curious since I love those kind of peppers. And then last year I grew over 40 different, not 40 different, but over 40, I think it was like 42 tomato plants. Probably 1 to 2 of the same plant at most. So I did a lot of, I had like 3 beds of tomatoes. Way too many tomatoes. So I'm limiting myself to 12 plants this year. That's why my tray was not very full. I'm trying to cut down, be more manageable. I tend to overdo things. So the ones that I'm gonna do this year, I'm gonna try the little sweetheart cherries. My kids love little snacker tomatoes. I mean, they just, when I send them outside, that's what they do. They go snack in the garden. So little sweetheart ones, they're cute. We'll see. These ones I grew last year, they were one of the many. They're little mushrooms. They were very meaty and hearty. I liked these. So I think I did probably 3 plants of these. I'm gonna do 1 this year of these. These were my favorite, Bonnie Best. These are basically like store-bought tomatoes. They looked, they felt, but they tasted amazing. They did not taste store-bought. So if you're looking for that uniform, you know, beautiful looking tomato, this one is absolutely that. I was astonished. Watermelon beefsteak. Yes, this is a ginormous one. I want to say that these grew really well last year, and that's why I am tempted to do it again. Let's see. Ace 55. These are determinate, meaning that this is a bush and it's only going to go so big and have so much fruit, and it's all going to come at once essentially. So this is kind of what you do when you're going to do canning. I don't plan on canning tomatoes next year. I have like 2 years plus worth of sauces, soups, all that stuff in the pantry already. I need to clear that out before I really store some more, but these were just so good. I mean, who knows? I may just miss canning tomatoes and want to do it. So I'm going to do one or 2 bushes of these because, again, they're determinate. They're not going to last all year. I'll probably have a lot of volunteers of this one out there already because this one was beyond prolific. This is a yellow pear tomato, a little snacker, and the kids just absolutely love these. But they grew up on our trellis and they're in the ground. A lot of them fell down because the kids got tired of eating them and I got tired of picking them, and we'll see how many volunteers we get this year. So we're going to do that again anyways. Amish paste, just because I like the meaty tomatoes. I'm not necessarily going to make a paste with them, but these are good. Chadwick cherry, we're going to try that this year. It's again snackers for the kids. The same thing with Supernova. I haven't done this one before. It's another little snacker. Mortgage lifters, these things are just fun to grow because I want to see how big I can get them. I think I had a couple pounder one last year. So this one's more for fun. And then, no, I don't think I'm doing lemon drop. These are just other ones that I'll be doing for the local community. Things like Abe Lincoln I've done, Dr. Witchy's. Oh, I'm also going to be doing Kellogg's breakfast. I love the orange. I just fold this and put it away when it's empty. And then I know to look and make sure I have another pack before I throw it away. It's my system. So, Abe Lincoln's, I just didn't need another ginormous tomato, but I highly recommend Abe Lincoln if you don't want to do mortgage lifter or both. Very good. Dr. Witchy's, I wasn't too thrilled with Dr. Witchy's last year. Well, got axed this year. This one I had a volunteer of. It's a Black Beauty. It's still actually hanging up in the garden on a trellis, dead. But it was my last to go, and it was a volunteer. It was just super strong. These just take forever to ripen because of the dark skin. So we didn't really eat very many of them, but we did enjoy some into the fall and early winter because it was still going. And then black strawberries and Jersey Devils I'll be growing for some others. Some other things that we will be doing is, you know, onions, cabbages, stuff like that. I'm going to be starting soon. I just have to kind of do this stuff in phases. I don't know if you can tell, but it's dark right now. The kids are all in bed. So this is the easiest time for me to do it. But now that I have the dirt out and I have it all set up, I can kind of throughout the day sit down, write some tags, and the kids will help me pop the seeds in. I got the pencil over there and they're just going to do the little holes for me. So from here on out, it'll be pretty simple. It's just getting up, getting started, getting the lights situated, getting the heating pad situated. Gotta figure out the lighting, make sure that I got the timer correctly, all that stuff. The startup is a little bit daunting. That is what I am growing so far. Let me know what you're going to be growing. If there's anything here that you have a question on, let me know. I'd love to get to know who's watching. And if you have any questions, let me know. I love to teach and I love to learn. So if there's something that you've seen me make a grave mistake on or something you think I can improve on, I'm sure there is, let me know.